Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Okay, today I was thinking about, you know, sharing something, a life story that really happened, but also from that story, I would like to share some thoughts, something that I've learned with time when thinking about the story. And I have a post, something that I wrote about in my blog a little bit and in the video I make in French, of course, because yeah, I feel more comfortable talking about such a topic in French. And then now I'm trying to do it in English. Okay, so I will try to do it in English the best I can, and I hope you will understand that it's uh, it's interesting to learn from other people story, and it's, how can I say that, it's a little bit sad today when you see some comment, women to women. Sometimes women can be harsh on other women, and that is a fact, unfortunately. So yeah, so the love story, it was an article that I read, and I don't know, I read it some years ago, and it marked me so much that I never forgot that story. And later on, that story was inspiring me for a real situation that happened in life. Um, the story will happen in Europe. I won't say the name of the country at all because the story is kind of sad, but it it teaches a lot of lesson of life. It happened many years ago. That story happened many years ago. It happened in a small town in a country in Europe, and it can happen. It could happen anywhere. Okay, the idea was clear that sometimes there are things that you have no control over. You say it in English, I think, and the story was very interesting. In a little town, a woman had a child, a daughter that she loved so much with her husband, of course. I don't know if it was her only child. It looks like it was her only child. I think it was her only child. And she was the mom, and she was taking care of her daughter, and who became a teenager. She was going to high school. So it probably happened in the 70s, huh? Or the 60s, I don't know, something like the 60s. Yeah, because at the time, the 60s or something like that, I mean, actually, it was way before the 80s, okay? So she was taking her daughter every morning to school, dropping her and picking her up from school. You know what parents do every day. It's a lot of work to be a parent. And I'm telling you, I'm learning that today. I'm learning that how it's not easy to be a parent. It takes a village to raise a child. It's a lot of work. So she was dropping her daughter every day, taking her back from school, from high school every day. So one day, as usual, she went and she dropped her daughter to school, okay, to her high school, and they hug as usual. I love you, da, 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 all these nice words that parents tell to the kids, and then the kids they respond. And then after the end of the of the day, I will say like that, she came back to pick up her daughter. And when she went to pick up her daughter, she wasn't she wasn't outside of the school, like waiting for her as usual. And then she started worrying that where is my daughter? And she left the car. I think she went inside to ask where the daughter was, if she was in the classroom maybe, and things like that. But no, nothing. She couldn't find her daughter. She started being worried. And then, of course, it was in the old days, meaning that she had to ask for help. Like, where is her daughter? She never disappeared like that. The police start investigating. They put picture everywhere in town, with the daughter face that we are looking like she's missing. They're looking for the daughter. She couldn't find her for days, for weeks, for months, for years. It was on TV, at the time it was like phone that you have on the wall, you pick up, you sit to talk. There was no cell phone. It was like kind of difficult. They had telegram, I think, the old system they had at the time. So it was kind of, they relentlessly, I don't know how to say that, search for the daughter in vain for years. The mom, the father, they got old. Of Eventually, they got old and they passed away. Since we've no news of the daughter, nobody knew what happened to her. She disappeared like that. Maybe she was kidnapped. Maybe something happened to her. They never found her. Many years later, maybe in the 90s or late 90s, early 2000, I think, if I'm not wrong, an inspector, how do you say that in English? Those who are doing investigation in the police. He was going through cold cases, and the cold cases was like he fell into the daughter's story, the mom who lost the family who lost the daughter like that. Okay, sorry. And for some reason, because the technology was probably better than the old days, so he could do more investigation. I think he did most of the job. Then he found the daughter. She was living in a town next to where she used to live, the neighbor town. He was shocked. He was like, we have been searching for her for years, like for many years. And then they dropped the case, like they put it in the cold case. Okay, in the case that we don't know. He found her. She was living a very perfect life, another life, and so on. He went to meet her, like, because her mom died of sadness, in a way, the parent, in a way, because it's very difficult for a parent to lose a child. And he went there to meet her. She was perfectly fine. And he asked her, did you know that your parent was searching for you? She said, yeah. Did you know that they were searching for you everywhere in the news? She said, I saw everything on TV, yeah. Because she was the city next to her. So he was like, why you never want to say, hello, mom, don't worry about it. I'm here, but she said, I didn't feel connected. Like, I felt no connection with my family. They were my parents, loving couple, loving people, loving parents. They did everything for me, but I didn't feel like I belonged to the family anyway. And then it was like, do you mean that they were making you feel something in a way, or were you victim of abuse? She said, no, absolutely not. I was just a stranger in the family. And then I decided to go find my way somewhere else, my life. She had children, she had a husband, she had another life. And the police officer asked, do you know that your mom is dead? She said, yeah, but, I understand, but I didn't feel like, the story was very sad. And I will tell you how my thoughts on being a mother, being a woman, being really, I don't know how to say anything about, child conceiving, birthing, being a parent, parenthood. I will tell you how my understanding